a head poked out of the tree hole. Don't doubt your eyes. This is a leopard. He is now ready to go hunting, because raising two children is physically demanding. A group of flying spirits are gathering for dinner. No one found it. There is a killer hiding just 2 or 3 meters away from them. Exciting hunting will never lack spectators. Gaze from companions. Let this flying spirit explode with great power, because he just wants to escape now. Then he kicked his theater companion to death. This kind of movement attracted the second brother of Street Lucy. He rushed to the battlefield as quickly as possible. Leopard Alimba saw that vulgar face. He immediately let go of Failing, because he no longer wants to work for free. When the second brother arrived at the battlefield, Failing had already disappeared without a trace. He is confused now. Alimba said indifferently, "There are ways to die, but there are no ways to die." Orimba returns home. He is planning to move with his children. Because I offended my second brother, it will be very difficult to live here in the future. He has 2 children, so it has to be transported into trips. When he came back for his second child, the second brother has already come to the door. He knew Alimba lived here. Alimba could only hide in the dark and wait for that guy to leave. Squirrel looks at his new neighbor. Alimba greeted him warmly. Mother Uli looked up at the little squirrel. She responded politely. After all, who can refuse harmonious neighborly relations? After saying hello, she kindly picked up her neighbor, prepared to introduce her to his 2 children. But what she didn't expect was that an uninvited guest breaks into her territory. A lame stray male leopard. Entering the territory of Mother Leopard Uli. Uli's mother won't allow any leopards to come near her now, because his 2 children are here. Buddhist leopard, getting closer and closer to the hiding place of the little leopard. Motherly instinct makes Uliba move forward bravely. The sound of fighting spread throughout the valley. The leader of this area, Gonghuabao, heard this. The head palace leopard is the consort of Alimba. He couldn't stand his wife being bullied. The couple played mixed doubles. Such a battle inflicts more injuries on the Jiao Palace leopard. Fortunately, a small life was saved. But considering his current situation, the chances of surviving are slim. The palace leopard came silently. After attacking the city, they quietly retreated. Orimba couldn't wait to return to the cub's hiding place. But there is only one palace leopard baby left. The other female leopard cub has disappeared. Who could be the murderer? Orimba moves around. He smelled a baboon nearby. Baboons often kill predators young. Olympus is basically certain. Another of my children has been killed. Ordinary leopards simply don't dare to watch in broad daylight. Attack the baboon. Because the fighting ability of baboons is not weak, and it's a social animal. But Alimba is a bit over the top. He came to avenge the child. Orimba crawled forward. It's amazing that it hasn't been discovered. Baboons are generally alert. But it's daytime now. They would never think of it. A leopard is approaching them. Ahhhhh. Ah. 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 In broad daylight, fireworks Alimba killed a baboon. Just because he doubted. The baboons kidnapped one of his cubs. Under Alimba's careful care, his surviving children grew to sub-adulthood. This leopard is special, because he has a pair of green eyes. So I named him Ma Kongbai. Ma Kongbai, under the supervision of her mother, the last moment before starting to become independent, successfully captured a water bird. This is difficult for him, but the little guy has an indomitable heart. Ah! After countless attempts, Makong is finally successful. Alimba can leave with peace of mind. But Ma Kongbi doesn't want to leave his mother. He tried to get closer to Orimba. Alimba acted very angry. At this moment, Ma Kongbi smelled the strange smell on his mother's body. He doesn't understand the meaning of this smell. When he approached Orimba again, Orimba launched an attack without hesitation. His mother, who always takes good care of him, there was no mercy at all this time. Ma Kongbi's right eye was scratched. The green eyes turned blood red. He sadly left his mother's territory. A few days later, he got an eye infection. Maybe even a limba didn't expect it. This time I disabled my son. In painful suffering, Makongi survived the most difficult moment. His injuries gradually improved, but those green eyes are no longer there. His most respected mother. It left him with indelible damage that lasted his entire life. Pay attention to the look in this woman's eyes. A crow captured the meaning of this look. He couldn't wait to walk towards the woman. There is indeed something fishy under the cup I'm staring at. It's my favorite mealworm. Next, the woman put a worm into the cup. Then recognize the crow with your eyes. Crow stepped forward and looked into the woman's eyes. Get the food you want again. This is actually very complicated. For eye contact, crows are even bigger than the stars. So researchers began upgrading tests. This test even applies to children as young as 5 or 6 years old. It will feel difficult. We can call this test a delayed reward test. That means giving them a chocolate. Their mother will tell them, you can eat a chocolate now, or you can get to chocolates after 5 minutes. Chocolate right in front of you. Have to wait 5 minutes. For children age 5 or 6. It's definitely a torture for me. There is no shortage of talents among the children who participated in the test. For example, this little guy is an instant foodie. Whoever you love eats first as a respect. Relatively speaking, little girls are more self-disciplined. They will pretend to ignore the chocolate on the table or divert your attention. This little girl just can't stand it anymore. Use what you have now to exchange for something better in the future. Only 35% of humans can do this. So can the crow understand this exchange relationship? This crow's name is Muro. It likes bread but prefers cheese. When the staff gave him the bread, he saw the cheese in the other hand. He didn't eat the bread right away. Instead, he stared at the piece of cheese. Staff reaches out. He chose to return the bread to the staff, so he was rewarded with cheese. What's even more amazing is that he immediately understood the relationship. To make waiting easier, he even threw away the bread. When the time comes, staff reaches out. Moro picked up the bread and put it in the hands of the staff, so he was once again rewarded with cheese. Staff discovered, the more Moro likes to change the food, the longer he waits to get this cheese. Muro waited for a full 10 minutes. But if the food you exchange is not what you like, such as raisins, Muro will eat the bread immediately. Stare at the staff with small eyes. It's like saying you can't lie to me. Crows are not only smart, they can also be scheming. You definitely don't know this. This experiment will unlock for you how scheming is the crow. Researchers place some toys in front of crows. Toys are not edible, but crows still hide toys. There are 2 observers at this time. They saw where the crow was hiding something. The crow also knew that the 2 men were looking at him. One of the observers walks into the aviary. Crows can totally see. He is approaching the hiding place. He left pretending not to care. Then hide aside and observe secretly. Workers lift leaves, but he didn't take the toy away. Then a second observer walked into the aviary. The crow continued to observe calmly, but the second researcher turned out to be a thief. He just took away the crow's toy. This crow is about to explode. The next time the crow gets food, the first observer is watching. The crow hid a large portion of the food. Doesn't care that the observer is peeking, but when the thief looked at him, he acted quite nervous. Pick up food. Start looking for a place you think is safe. Researchers found there's a reason why crows like to hide toys. They are testing observers. Test who is the thief and who is trustworthy. The same goes for bean sprouts in the wild. They hide useless things to test other bean sprouts. This way you can figure it out. Who stole his food last time? Experiment proved crows can imagine other people's intentions, understand other people's point of view. This sounds incredible. But the staff, working on a more controversial issue. That is, do birds have emotions? This open-mouthed crow is quite sad now, because his girlfriend ran away with Bia. His friend is comforting him. Crows display different emotions. This may sound a bit ridiculous, but it exists. Like this crow. His owner hasn't visited him for several days. The crow was very excited to see his master. Then comes sulking. The male host kept explaining to the crow. But the crow's performance is, it's like saying that you don't want to listen to the bastard chanting sutras. When she got tired of screaming, she started to peck the male owner's hand. The male host is helpless. I can only hand my finger to him. The crow immediately grabbed his finger, and he refused to let go for a long time. although we don't know what they are talking about. But the poor little eyes reveal a message. I am angry. The kind that's hard to coax. He just held his master's finger in his mouth. An hour passed, and he refused to let go. Maybe he was afraid that the master would go out and fool around for a few days and not come back. Bird brains may not be that simple, after all. It's just that we have no way to communicate with them effectively. Communicate if one day humans can communicate with animals. Maybe it will open up a whole new world. 8 amazing attack moments from prehistoric dinosaurs. You saw the beginning, but didn't guess the ending. 8 Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Majungasaurus. Tyrannosaurus Rex is having the carcass all to himself. Ma Junlong and his children also smelled the aroma of meat. I followed the smell and found it. Ma Junlong was attracted by the food and ran straight away. Of course, Tyrannosaurus wouldn't let it. The two sides began a competition of momentum. The two sides seemed to be tied. The Tyrannosaurus Rex thought he had won and was about to continue eating. Ma Junlong continued to step forward. Tyrannosaurus Rex is furious. Ma Junlong was scared off. Avoid the Tyrannosaurus Rex with your kids. Be careful when eating. Little Ma Junlong saw a piece of minced meat. After discovering Tyrannosaurus Rex, he was really like an iron rooster, picking up the minced meat happily. Ma Junlong bit his neck firmly. Ma Junlong's arms are too short, and he can only bite with his mouth. The Tyrannosaurus Rex broke free, but suffered severe neck injuries. Ma Junlong once again saw the right time, bit his neck from the other side. Tyrannosaurus Rex can no longer struggle. In this way, the Tyrannosaurus Rex was killed by Ma Junlong, and became the food of Ma Junlong's family. Megaraptor versus Tyrannosaurus Rex. Megaraptor is hatching eggs. 3 egg-cutting dragons came over quietly. Then he left in despair. Megaraptor found another invader. So I want to hide myself. With such a big lump, do you think Tyrannosaurus Rex is blind? The Tyrannosaurus Rex noticed him and started to approach. Megaraptor knew he was exposed. Start taking the initiative. Run forward to fight. Started a preemptive attack. Facing to Tyrannosaurus Rex without fear. The egg-cutting dragon took the opportunity to steal eggs again. Megaraptor is worried. Suddenly, the Tyrannosaurus Rex bit his tail. Megaraptor kicked him down. The other strong one turned around and ran away. That's all. Two Tyrannosaurus Rex became the defeated enemies of Megaraptor. Megaraptor returns to its lair and drives away the Cleptoraptor. At any rate, not a single particle is missing. Megaraptor starts again. But in the end, no matter how powerful the Megaraptor is, it can't defeat the sandstorm. 6 Kilung versus Giant Kiln. This giant kiln. Body length 8 meters. The mouth is 2.5 meters long. They are Kilung's delicacies. Kilung is a master of predators. The giant kilns here are many and fat. Kilung opened his mouth and waited for but this just provides food for Lugopus. Kilung starts showing off his fishing skills again. 5 Galosaurus versus Trachodon. Galosaurus is looking for food. Trachodontosaurus is monopolizing its prey. The chicken dragon discovered them at this time. The Cerodontosaurus saw the Galosaurus and came to grab food. Hurry and bite the prey to declare your sovereignty. But Jilong was too seriously injured. The largest stone on land died soon after the dinosaurs. In this episode, let's look at the above for moments first. Have you been shocked? Remember to pay attention to the remaining 4 of Kikyu. See you next episode. Ah. 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 In a South African national park. Such a scene seems heartwarming, but it's actually full of dark scenes. Leopard gently caressing a small antelope. They seem to have a very good relationship, looking like they are having fun together. But the fact is that this little antelope is the prey of the leopard. Leopard enjoys playing with its prey. These scenes were all recorded by photographers, although the picture makes people feel a little cruel. But this is cruel nature. What makes people rack their brains at this time is that this pair of natural enemies. Why can we be good partners at this moment? Some people doubt that leopards are not seriously mentally ill. Some people believe that everything in fairy tales is true. The love between animals inside harmony really exists in nature. Others ask doubtfully, why do leopards only have a soft spot for small antelopes? Why can't I ever see it? What about its interactions with other carnivores? For example, with a little lion or a small hunting dog. What secret is hidden here? What's so magical is that it doesn't just happen to leopards. The cheetah, also a cat, has a similar scene. It can be seen from the screen. This little antelope was caught by some cheetahs. It looks like it has been choked by a cheetah, about to be miserable, died by misfortune. In fact, the little antelope was unharmed. They were just playing. If you say let the little antelope run, but this little guy's will to live has collapsed. To put it simply, it is bloodline suppression. Animal experts have pointed out, cats after catching prey. Such playful behavior often occurs. On the one hand, it is to enjoy pleasure. On the other hand, it is also the most important point. That's to strengthen your hunting skills. Even the lion standing at the top of the food chain. On the grassland, there have been many times where people played with their prey like this. I remember there is a proverb in Costa Rica. Every living wolf you see. It means there is a dead sheep. The prey that must have been toyed with. The final ending won't be happy, right?